Uh-oh. More mods, right? No, it is a mod, but it's cosmetic. It's something that is very overlooked, just like you guys saw in the last couple videos, is where like most of the interior pieces a lot of people overlook. And this one wasn't cheap. It'll be my first piece of Alcantara, but this is supposed to be universal for all F chassis, so hoping and praying that that is actually the case, because if it's not, it was a really expensive mistake. Just like the the DRLs. So from Bimmerplug, once again, which they had the cheapest option here, this was a carbon fiber Alcantara M Sport e-brake handle and boots. This one came in two different things. So normally I'd say you probably just want to replace the handle, keep the leather, because the leather's in there's actually the nice leather that normally all the M cars have, and that's why it's universal. This time I was like, I really want to feel Alcantara actually on a handle that I grip normally, not just on that trim that's on the centerpiece. So I guess it's really just a matter of like implementing it, seeing if it actually fits. Now, for those of you who don't know, that little black button actually is part of the e-brake, so you can't just replace that. You have to get a whole new e-brake. So let's just do this. I'm also tired of using wrap trim tools, so we're actually using auto trim tools instead, which this will probably help a lot. I'm stuck with the ultimate challenge of how I'm actually gonna film this, but obviously, first step, you kind of want to take the armrest out. That gets you access to this part here. So this has been probably one of the easiest interior upgrades I've ever done. The unfortunate part is that if you're only changing the boot, then yes, theoretically, you do have to cut off the zip tie that holds the handle onto the actual e-brake. But if you're like me and want to change the entire thing, since you're already at it, you actually just have to pull everything off, and it comes off as one whole piece. Everyone that I've looked at has said that this part, the handle, is the hardest to remove. Ow! Fuck me, that hurt. Oh! God damn, I pinched a nerve or some shit. Oh, motherfucker. Oh! Alright, just be prepared that it's tough and sometimes... Ow, dude, that hurt me. It got me straight in the nerve. Anyways, you do not actually have to take off this guy, okay? You don't have to cut it off, because if you do, well, now you have to replace it at some point if you're just changing out the boot or changing out the handle, whichever. Now I'm lucky because this is fully intact, no broken pieces or anything, and I can essentially just put this right on. All right, I'll finish it right here, right now. I want to break the clips, so that's the problem. Let's see, this all came up like this, so why don't we put it back? We do reverse order. Hopefully we can get it in. I think I got it, actually. I actually think that's it. I promise you guys, I am having the world's best, world's cleanest, world's most insane 2015 435i. I don't care what anybody says about you're putting so much money into an N55. Listen, I get it. I wish I had a B58. Everybody does who has a 435i, but this thing is mine. I love it. It's my first actual car, actual modded car. I'm very proud of it. If we take a look at how much this interior has cost me so far, this is going to be wild, because I know I'm looking at the dollar signs every time I look at something here. This cosmetic video literally just keeps on going. Some things are still not in yet. But what I have gotten, and this is, you know, when a car means a lot to you, especially a first build, first proper build, something that is, you know, there's still imperfections, but the overall thing is good. You start to go a little haywire, and you know, beforehand I had a fake carbon fiber license plate frame. So that's what it looks like. Obviously from a distance no one's gonna tell, but whatever. So I've spent an ungodly amount of money to get a Kith BMW license plate frame. Woo! Look at that! Oh, dude. A Kith license plate. Like I said, you gotta know to know. I wish I could make this up, but one whole month later, and I now have the M Sport F chassis gear selector cover. I'm a little scared of how the fitment's gonna be in terms of like the gapping of everything. The cover as well, I'm a little scared that it's probably gonna be a little bit too wide, but I guess let's just see. So yeah, just as an FYI, if you get anything that's actual carbon fiber, understand that 99% of the time it does fit pretty much standard to the OEM piece that you're replacing, but there's always that chance of it being a little too big or too small. So without even actually putting this on, this is the OEM one. If you get an M Sport one and you switch it, that's kind of ricer, I'm not gonna lie. So I got the OEM one. I mean, fitment could be a lot worse. You see the redness around it, that's just the sticker. And now, of course, my assumption was right. Fitting anything that's OEM to aftermarket 100% authentic carbon fiber is never going to fit like how it used to be, but it's close enough and it still makes the car look that much better. Now, in order to get this gear selector cover off, you just have to take off the sticker, which has the gear selector mode on it, and what I believe is one singular T8 screw that's in there. After taking that off, you should be able to take the entire cover off. Fitment is not terrible. Wow. I actually quite like that. And then it was time to add the finishing touch. The sticker again. Well guys, like I said, this is the almost last piece of the interior that I want to do. I'm not going to do any Starlight headliners on this thing. I don't think that's really appropriate for this car. Maybe I could do more ambient lighting. I think that might be a little bit of a cool thing to do, but I don't like the fact that it had to run to a cigarette lighter in here. So maybe if I can figure out how to do it to a fuse, which I think would look a lot cleaner. It's a lot more work, but I think to make it look more OEM would actually be 10 times better. If any of you have Silverstone BMW F80 interior, like door cards and the seats, hit me up because I really want them. And wow, look at how insane this looks now. But we're not even close to being done. You know, the funniest thing to me is that this video has taken well over a month to make because I didn't want to just put in one thing and make a video that's like 10 minutes long of me just rambling. So there's several parts of this video that I'm putting in, and it's just being bought over a literal time span of like 2-3 months. So now what I've received is actually something that is supported by the chassis of an F30, F32, all the F3Xs. Then you have the F80Xs or the F8X. So let's just say this. I will be implementing this guy, and I'm very excited about it because one, it's going to give me a lot of style credits, but two, gives me a little bit of a kind of a thought of like, man, this is going to happen one day. So I thought I was done with the center console, but it turns out I'm not because you can actually do this to it. And actually, there's one more thing that I will be doing, but not until the actual seats get here, but I haven't bought those yet. This here is the center console of an F82 M4. So, good part about this is that it is actually universal. The only difference is that I do have this part instead of no part. So, I have that, but then I also have a full functioning key buttons here for the M4. I'm telling you guys, I can't wait to get that car. All of that you see in there right now, all that right now, has to come out. So again, just as a heads up, if you ever take interior panels off or trims in general, just be sure that you don't do it more than 3 times because BMW plastic is probably the worst type of plastic to ever exist in this entire world. So you have to take out every single little bit of trim piece to get to this big one, where you have to unscrew just a couple T20 screws and then the rest is simply plastic clips. This is why you simply don't take BMW plastic out more than once, because I've broken these 3 clips. So something that you guys will probably end up noticing, which I'm not even sure if this is a great angle for this, but this is the F82 center console piece, and then this is the F32 center console piece. So literally the only difference is that now this one will have the knee rest that the F80s have. Obviously, since the buttons are still here, I can actually probably sell this. So if any of you actually have an F80 and need these buttons again, whether to be stock or you just need a working module, hit me up in the comments down below and we can talk some business. But everything here works exactly the same. Now this is one upgrade that truly fits OEM. So there should be no type of gaps, or I should say unusual gaps, because this literally is eye for eye of an F30 chassis and F80 chassis. But look at this. This proves the most subtle changes have the biggest impacts. The longer I have this car, the more I figure out that there's a lot of little cosmetic things that this thing still needs to have in order to make it look saucy as hell. So you guys know I did a full carbon package on it. I did interior stuff and everything. And one thing that I think it truly makes it better is deleting chrome. Now, and the only thing that's really chrome on this car that's left is this here. Now, the last few BMWs that I've had, I've actually did a badgeless setup, but I don't really think badgeless is even that great anymore. I think if you're going to own the car, right? We got black badges, and we're about to put them on, and I hope to God it actually works out well, because honestly, I've never done this before, and usually when I've never done something before that's super attention to detail oriented, it's a little scary. And since I really don't have time to wash this car completely, just to take this thing out and make a pretty decently clean surface, I used some Meguiar's Quick Detailer. Did basically around this part and obviously on that side too. So let's hope it sticks. So the very first step is to outline the borders of the badges with some blue or yellow painter's tape. And then I went the extra mile to kind of mark the edges of each individual badge piece. Next up, I used a heat gun very carefully with a distance and started to melt off the glue that was actually behind it. Really, it's just a 3M sticker. And once it was heated up enough, I used a plastic scraper. If you use metal, I swear to you, you were going to scratch your paint and end up regretting that decision. And all you really need to do is take a majority of the leftover adhesive off, which then kind of gives you an easy kind of pointer of where to place the new badges, instead of just kind of trying to guess and hopefully you get it right. Okay, so I want you guys to tell me in the comments down below, would you have stuck with the chrome or would you have done the black? In my opinion, I think the black actually makes it look really nice and clean. It's different. The only thing is the fonts are a little bit smaller. So where I taped it off was at the literal edge of the OEM badging. Now this one, as you can tell, like, it's not exactly on the edge, and that's just because they are smaller. But what do you guys think? Comment down below what you would have done. And then last but not least, the X-Drive logo. It looks 10 times better in black than it ever did in chrome. I can tell you that fit on way better than those guys. Like, these guys I think definitely were just a little bit too small. But whichever, it's on and it looks so much better. I hate chrome on BMWs unless it's wheels. So basically 3 months later, I now have what, in my opinion, an almost fully kitted out 435i. The interior upgrade is pretty much done. I've had contemplations of doing more to it, but honestly, it's a 435. If it happens, it happens, actually. We'll just say that. Yeah, this car is truly stunning.